Hello everyone, this is Charles Walhingford back again with another distilled aged spirit video. This video is about how to get all those wonderful flavors and notes that you see people talk about. How are they doing it? What is it that they're doing to get all those flavors that they say they taste? And I want to give you just a really short, informal class on how that is done. So we will start from the beginning to the end, and we'll talk about some details and some realities on how these things actually come into play. So the first thing you need when you're drinking whiskey, drinking distilled aged spirits, you gotta have the right glass. Without the right glass, all this stuff is for naught. It's for naught. So we want to start with, I don't have the original, this is not the original size or the original Glencairn, but this is a Glencairn light glass. The Glencairn glass is the basics, what you need. If you can get a Glencairn glass, you're there. You're there. And there's also different variations to, like this one, a variation to the Glencairn. The main thing that you will see with all these glasses is at some point there is going to be a wide bulbous point, almost like a tulip. And then at the top, at the lip, it's going to be smaller from where you're drinking out of. So the top should be a smaller circumference than the middle bottom portion. That's what you want. That's ultimately what you want. That's big for the nosing portion, because it will allow those scents and those gases and all the different atoms and everything else to start collecting in there. That's what you want. You want those smaller elements, that odor, to really get caught up in there and really concentrate those scents that you're looking for. The nosing is important, but you can't nose correctly without the right glass. And then here's different variations. This is a brandy snifter variation. This is another more common brandy snifter variation, but not variation, but brandy snifter, but it's still the same concept that I'm explaining, where you have a wide end, and then on the top of the cylinder of the glass, it's smaller. The circumference is smaller, and that's what you want. You want this to be wide, this to be smaller than that. All right? So there's different ways about going about doing it. Here's another Glencairn style. And then you have a wine glass. If you can't get your hands on a Glencairn glass right away, or a Glencairn type glass, the wine glass does the exact same thing. It does the exact same thing. And excuse me, it's not just a simple wine glass, a red wine glass. A red wine glass would do the exact same thing if you don't have a Glencairn. Again, it's wide at the bottom, towards the bottom, and it's the circumference is smaller at the top of the lip of the glass. All right, so that's the first part. You gotta have the right glass. If you can't get the right glass, then it's not possible. All right, so the next thing you need to be able to do is nose. You have to nose. You can't just kick it back. If you're just kicking it back, you'll never get all those things. You have to warm your body up. It's like, lack of a better term, it's like having sex. And this is the foreplay. The glass is the lingerie, and the nosing is the foreplay. Let's start some foreplay or nosing. We'll go with some Buffalo Trace. Now, with the nosing, big key to nosing is how much you pour in a glass. No more than that much. That might be too much, but no more than that much. That's how much you want. Okay, right? As we can see this particular glass, you can see the point of where it's at the widest. I stopped where it's at the widest. And that's what you're looking for the most part. Or less than that. Then you let it sit. You let it sit. You can't just jump right into it. Again, it's foreplay, it's sex. You can't just jump right into it. You gotta let it sit. You can let it sit for 5 minutes. You can let it sit for 10 minutes. After we go past that, that's a little bit much. You don't need to go that far. And then also temperature makes a difference too. If it's something that, if you're in a place where it's very warm, you don't need to wait as long because those fumes will start coming out. So the next part of the nosing, you don't stick your nose right in it right away either. You stop right here, right just slightly below your chin. See what comes through. See if you can smell those scents that people always talk about coming through, and wait. And tell you and give yourself some time for your brain to process what's going on. Okay? That swirling is not necessary, I just do it. That's not necessary. Some people will sit down with swirling. Now swirling actually gets those fumes to come out, but you don't have to do that. You actually don't. Then you get a little bit closer. Use both nostrils. Both nostrils. What do you smell? What is it familiar? Is it anything familiar to you? Now some of you are thinking, I just smell bourbon. You're right, you do. You smell bourbon, but there's other smells that come with it, especially depending on the age, the wood that was used. All those things come into play. And then go ahead and put your nose all the way in. But get it away. Don't keep it in there. Again, like I said, it's like sex. Not all the way, just a little taste. Just a little tease. And set it away. What did you take in? What did you take in? All right. Now, we're not going to talk about what you taste right now. We're going to go into that in a second. Or smell right now. All right. Now as you put it in your nose 3 or 4 times or more, you can just sit there and nose it, and nose it, and nose it, and nose it. That's good. That's good. It just gets you ready. It gets you primed. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and taste. No, I don't have a microphone, lavalier microphone right under my chest, on my chest, under my chin. You can't hear that I'm swishing. You want to do some swishing, but the big thing is you want aeration. You want aeration. Some people get so deep into it, you hear it. Sometimes that's unnecessary. I don't know. I suck it through my teeth. The aeration also comes with after you drink. Suck in, blow out. Let those things just sit. Let it linger. Try again. But make sure your nose is open to it. Roll it around different parts of your mouth. Let it hit different parts of your tongue. Let it happen. Again, it's like sex. Let it happen. Now, you also may want to, especially depending on the alcohol by volume, the percentage of alcohol in that particular spirit, add water. But you add water with a precise method. Each time you add a drop or two with this much, a drop or two. If you have a spoon, you want to use only a teaspoon, nothing bigger than a teaspoon. And if you have a measuring spoon, even better, you want to have a half a teaspoon per drop or drip or whatever. Then you swirl that around and see what comes from that. Water does make a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. One, it can open things up, especially if you have a high alcohol by volume. And then two, it lowers the alcohol by volume because at some point, especially if you're tasting a lot, your tongue can go numb. And you're not tasting anything. Yeah, you're tasting good, but you're trying to taste all those delightful flavors that they describe, that you read on the side of the box and everything else. You're trying to get that. You're not just trying to say, yes, this is good. You're trying to say, okay, I do understand what you're talking about. I do taste this, that, and the other. Okay, that's what we're going for. But if you have too much alcohol by volume, your tongue will actually go numb. Now, here's another way to really help you learn what those flavors are, how to identify those flavors, how those flavors really are able to come out. This technique works very, very, very well by having two of the same products, two of the same spirits together, and then you taste them against each other. Not to find out which one tastes better, just to train yourself to learn about those subtle differences. So I'll have like this Cavassier XO with this Hardy Legend at the same exact time, and I would taste one against the other, one against the other. Then you'll find the subtle differences. Then you'll be able to taste, oh, okay, I see. And then on top of that, make sure that you're well-rounded. Don't just drink scotch. Don't just drink rum or cognac. Drink a large variation of that, and that'll actually help you pull out the different flavors too. When you go and taste some rum, then taste some scotch, they don't go together well, but then those flavors start to come out. And then you'll have another phenomenon where you'll say, oh, these actually taste very similar. That's important. You need to, in order to really get these things, it's going to take experience, time, and trial and error to be able to pull those flavors and understand those flavors, what's going on. Again, another example is if you take the same exact product, like for example, you have a Macallan 12 I have here, go with a Macallan 12 and Macallan 15. Taste those because they're essentially the same product with a little bit of a different age. You can get that, learn that, understand where is it going, where have I gone, where is it going, and what are those, again, subtle differences. Then you can start identifying flavors because they really will stand out more when you have similar products, similar spirits, and you're drinking those at the same time. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to do. I probably should have said this in the beginning. Now, there's the reason why some people are able to explain all those wonderful things. They taste the red fruit, they taste the citrus, they taste the grape skin, they taste maybe something like cotton candy, they taste chocolate covered raisins. They can say they taste all those things. Now, here's why they can taste all those things. First and foremost, you need to have a natural absolute talent. You can't taste all those things if you don't have a natural absolute talent. And the wonderful thing is, for women have a more profound or exact ability to smell, taste, and see color. It's just something that's different between men and women. And a lot of times there are a lot of master blenders that are women and a lot of tasters that are sommeliers. I mean, women that are sommeliers and tasters and stuff like that. And that's why women actually have that natural talent more than men do usually. But, you know, how things work, there are men with that natural talent. I definitely know that I have that natural talent, and to go with natural talent, which lets me know I have the natural talent, formal training. Has this person been in the culinary arts, like real culinary arts? Nothing against if you worked at McDonald's or you were a cook at Denny's. Nothing against that. That's not what I'm talking about. If you were in an absolute restaurant where you had to do blending of flavor and understand that blending of flavor, that's what I'm talking about. Or you went to culinary school, or like I said, you're a sommelier, and you actually paid to know and identify those flavors. You need those two things. You need formal training, and then you need natural talent. Now, the last element that I've seen people who explain all those things, and they break it down and say they have this and that. Like I said, the cotton candy, it tastes like the dew of honeysuckle on a June, July day. You know what they are? They're bullshitters. Yes, they're bullshitters. Maybe they would call them poets, but they're bullshitters. A lot of people, especially sadly to say on YouTube, are bullshitting you. A lot of people don't have natural talent, don't have formal training, and they're just good poets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helped you out and learn a little bit about distilled aged spirits, how to take them in, how to really enjoy it. And oh yeah, one last thing, you need to be happy when you do it. If this is something that you're making yourself do, no, that's not the right way. Enjoy doing it. And if you never get it, just know that, are you having fun? Do you enjoy drinking this? Then that's half of it right there. But anyway, guys, I'm Charles Walhingford, and I always end with, this is how I would spend my money. Well, these alcohols are how I would spend my money, but this is more about time and teaching and everything else. I am happy to spend my time with you, and I'll see you next time.